Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Schmidt Lavelle. My name is Tom Lavelle, and as always, I'm accompanied by Mr. Timothy Schmidt.
Bing, bang, boom. Hello.
Bing, bang, boom, he's here. I'm here, we're here, you're here. And we appreciate you being here and listening to Schmidt Lavelle. The show's growing in popularity, and we appreciate all the followers out there and everyone that's already subscribing. If you're not following, subscribing, now's your chance. Hit that pause button, go in there and subscribe, follow, tell your friends, tell your family. A little homework for this week. Why not tell someone that doesn't know about Schmidt and Lavelle to, hey, check out these two guys. They're really hitting the great topics that you want to talk about. Right? Am I right, Tim? Am I
That's
right?
right, Tom.
That's right. We got a lot of great topics to cover this week. In fact, we got to keep it moving because there's so much stuff. But before we do that,
Gotta stay, Tom. We gotta stay on task. That's what we need to do. We gotta stay on task. We gotta keep it simple, stupid, as my second grade teacher, Mrs. McGonagall, used to say.
yeah,
Kiss. Kiss.
keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. I love it. All right, so first things first, let's get to some of our comments from this past week's episode, Philadelphia Heartbreak. To Mr. Jim Barnhart 5874. Timmy the Cook's jokes were hands down the best around. Waiting 2 hours for chicken fingers and fries was a small price to pay. A lot
I
of
look
talk,
if
a lot of feedback about the way I talked about our cooks last week. People thought it was rude. People thought it wasn't nice. People, a lot of comments to me. And guys, I was just being honest. Sometimes I have feelings too, and it's difficult dealing with I'm sure we all know it's difficult to deal with coworkers sometimes, and maybe it got the
that's
best of me. I will say this, I love all my coworkers. I like them all as people. Sometimes it's frustrating to work with them. That's it.
Tom, as my mother used to say, honesty is the best policy.
Well, I certainly was honest.
Brutally honest.
Brutally honest. From Mr. Heastiff. Smarties are great. Retire the damn song. Diamondback pitchers didn't even throw over the plate, all breaking balls low and away. That had us waving like Forrest Gump. Love you guys. Keep swimming. Atta babe.
Ooh, the Atta
Love,
Babe is really starting to come on a little bit. And
love the Atta babes.
shout out to Zach. I think he's the one that started. Zach Smith, our foursome extraordinaire from the tournament the other day. Our local golf pro out of Graham's pub. He is he's a hell of a player.
Yeah, Timmy, I will say this. I'll cut you off real quick. I do think you're mistaken on that. The Atta babe, I will have to go to that Eagles kid. I believe he
Oh,
was the originator of the Atta babe. The Atta babe has taken off. And if you're hearing this right now and you want to give us an Atta babe in the comments, great. ATTABABE. Hit us with an Atta babe. Let us know that you're listening and you like the content that Schmidt Lavelle is putting out there. But yeah, I will say it was at the Eagles kid. And speaking of at the Eagles kid, we're gonna get back to these Smarties, Timmy, because your Smarties really have thrown people for a loop. They didn't love that in the top five. Let's go with that Eagles kid. Ugh, just awful. As bad as a Bounty bar. What's a Bounty bar? Do you know?
I, I have no. I know what the Bounty Bowl is. I don't know what a Bounty Bar is though.
That might be, he's originally from Delaware, so maybe that's a Delaware thing. We'll have to ask him about that.
It's like a Zagnut.
So from Len Mears, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mears? Len Mears, having Smarties in your top five is almost as bad as not saying thank you to the gentleman holding the door for you at Wawa. Complete psychotic behavior.
Tom, obviously a reference to an earlier show. Len Mears must be a avid listener of the Schmidt Lavelle show. He's listened to the podcast, and I will say I don't say thank you, but I do. I have made an adjustment, and I say appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
That's it. That's all
Appreciate it or appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. That's it.
You are appreciated.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right, from
Uh,
S Madden 10. Yeah, Smarties are perfect for when you want a nice mouthful of flavored chalk. This is blasphemy. Blasphemy, they say. Timmy, a lot of people upset about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Smarties, a lot of people commenting and even on some of them, a ton of responses when we posted our video, right? Almond Joy, number one. That look, maybe I made a mistake in posting our top fives. I didn't have them numbered. That was just on the top five list. When it came to our list, it said Schmidt for sure, although I prefer peanut M&Ms, but solid choices in that lineup. All City Schmitty, Smarties, horrible list. I don't know how to say this. Jottieb. How do I say that?
Dottie B. That's
Oh,
Jocelyn Brody. Yeah.
Jotty B. Okay. Filthy. Okay. And then from Big Fred. I don't know you could be wrong making a list like this, but you're both wildly wrong here. And being that he's
Mhm.
big, I might have taken Twix and Milky Way Dark are both trash. And we need
That's
some Swedish Fish Sour Patch representation. I mean, I feel like we kind of represent, like I had Skittles at least.
yeah. So look, here's the thing. I made an omission. Okay. And I think I put it in the comments, and I totally forgot about this candy. It's one of my favorites. And it edges out the Smarties. So I put like Smarties probably 6, and then right after Smarties a close a, a close 7th, probably candy cigarettes. But
No one's cooler than a guy with a pack of candy cigarettes.
rolled it up right in the
Oh,
sleeve
I
there.
used to do that. I rolled my candy cigarettes up in the sleeve. I did that.
But my number 5 would probably have to be a Whopper. The Whopper is a fantastic piece of candy. It also known as what the old folks like to call a malty ball. But it really scratches me where I itch more than the Smarties. So I'd like to bump out the Smarties, but Smarties is still a top 10 for me. It's close to the top 5, so I'm not backing down off of that. But Whopper is way better than Smarties.
Well, Tim, I will say this. There was a lot of votes that went into whose list was better, mine or yours. And lo and behold, 79% to 21%, my list came out on top. The best list was done by moi, Mr. Lavelle. Knows his candy better than Mr. Schmidt, obviously. And we'll go to one last thing. We're going to talk about the Halloween decorations war. And here I am again. Another win. This time, crushed it. Tons of votes on this one in a landslide with an 83 to 17% win. My house, the best decorated house on the block,
Mm,
the pride. Walking around today, giving out or going trick or treating with my son. Oh, which house is yours? Oh, almost embarrassing, saying it's the one. It's the one there with the. Oh, wow, we love that. Oh well, no big deal, not a
yeah.
problem.
Uh-huh.
When you're setting it up, it's for the kids, really, and certainly wasn't doing it to crush my
So
neighbor.
so humble of you, Tom. Uh, but yeah, I mean, look, all that says, like, you put up these polls, and maybe you have more friends listening than I do.
Oh, is
Maybe,
that the
maybe,
case? My
maybe
the
it's
people that voted are just more of my friends are voting. Is that
yes.
it? And
Yeah,
that's
I
why
think
my list is better than
they
yours?
just look
Okay.
this, they see the world through your eyes the same way you do, and they're voting for you. And I get it, that's fine and dandy, but guess what? They're probably the same people that want it to be the Lavelle and Schmidt show, not the Schmidt and Lavelle show. So you know what? I'm discounting your polls from now on. You're the one that's controlling everything. You're the guy in the back behind the
The puppet
curtain control.
master.
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
Grand
So
Oz over here.
yes. So maybe we put up a poll about who's the better looking man.
Ah, the better looking man. Hmm.
Or the
That could be
better
a pull.
athlete, or even the better bartender. I think I'm way better than you.
Certainly the better bar patron. You're not
That's a
passed out on the side of the building. You know what I mean? So you have me at that. Timmy, we want to say thank you to all the people out there that have been listening and commenting and voting and just partaking in the show to help it grow. We love you. Please keep listening and following through with all that stuff. More episodes to come, and we hope you're going to like what we're doing. And if you're not already doing it, please give us that follow, that share, that like. We also want to give another shout out to the underscore design guys or design underscore guys, the new
What is he
t-shirt
at the end?
company with a Z at the end. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. They've given us these shirts. They're awesome. All the Philly sports shirts, great feel, great fit, cool designs. Can't say it enough. We love design underscore guys on Instagram. We'll post about their website if we get their website to where you can order these things or where you can go and buy them. The t-shirts are great, great quality. Like I have a bunch of t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt guy, Timmy, and I'm sure you're a t-shirt guy too. We're t-shirt guys. And these are the types of t-shirts you want. The material, it's not like that like blocky kind, you know what I mean? That's too short in the
Yeah.
belly.
Mm.
Like they fit well. They don't, they're not too tight or anything like that, but then they're comfortable and soft and like the cool kind of retro look that you're looking for. Am I right in saying that, Tim? Design
Tom,
guys?
you're Tom, you're spot on, man. If you need something locally, if you're looking for a t-shirt company that has the best fit, the best apparel, and the best designs, check out our boys at design underscore guys with a Z on Instagram, and you'll find all your needs. It'll be perfect match. And these guys are really doing some big things here locally. So check them out.
Rumor has it some Sixers shirts will be floating
Yeah.
around soon. So I have I think three awesome Eagle shirts, one with Kelsey on it, the GEOAT, the greatest Eagle of all time, they're calling him. That was really cool. Obviously your classic Eagles with the old school bird logo on there. I got some Broad Street shirts, some Philly shirts. I was wearing the Philly shirt the other day that has the Rocky emblem in there. They're really cool designs, and like we said, the perfect fit, perfect feel. You're gonna love them. Design underscore guys with a Z. Check them out on Instagram. If you're having trouble finding them, we follow them. Go into who we follow, and you can find them right there and click on it. So design underscore guys. Thank you again. Go check them out. All right, Tim. We got a lot to cover here. We got a ton of stuff that happened this week that brought up these topics that we need to touch on. And the first one I want to touch on is I was coaching the other day and I coach my son's soccer team and we're having practice and things are going smoothly and I'm running the kids and we're having a scrimmage and then my son went up to go steal a ball and one of the kids on our team, probably the biggest kicker on our team when he gets a hold of it, boots a ball, goes up, boom. It hits him right in the cojones, right in the family jewels, if you know what I'm saying. And it dawned on me like, oh boy, this is his first real go about of a ball shot.
Yeah, first nut shot.
First nut shot. He like it hit him. He like paused, and you know how like right away sometimes it can hit you, and then a couple seconds later it starts to oh no, this hurt, and
Mm-hmm.
he almost like he didn't know what was happening.
Hmm.
And what was tough about it is that one of his friends there it's tough because when you see someone get hit in the nuts, it's kind of a funny thing. You know what I mean? Like naturally you're like you laugh a little bit, oh man, he's got hit in the nuts. But as a guy, when you get hit in the nuts, that's no good. Timmy, can you explain like maybe to the female listeners out there, like they don't understand. My question to you is this. Would you
Is there?
rather
I thought you were going to ask
what's
me if
worse? Getting hit in the nuts, like especially as a dad of a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old now, I get hit in the nuts almost every other day, and sometimes it's multiple times in a day just from my kids climbing all over the place. Boom, I get hit in the nuts.
it's like a
Do,
speed bag down there.
do the total, yeah, do the total amount of pain from nut shots outweigh the pain of labor? Think about it. All the nut shots in your life that you've taken, the pain, the hits, the knee buckling, the stomach hurting, the pain. I mean, for a couple days of, and then you're healed up after a couple weeks. I don't know.
uh, I'm gonna go with no. I want to say no on that one. I'm gonna side with our female audience and listen.
Mm.
It's look, getting hit in the nuts is not great. I actually remember the first time I got hit in my nuts, and that
The first time? You remember the very first time?
I remember it, yeah, because I got like almost sick. Because like you're right, you don't know what the hell's going on really. And it just is it's a brutal feeling. But I mean, look, dude, if you've ever been in if you ever been in the ER or in the maternity ward where your wife or significant other is giving birth, I mean, I wouldn't want that on on anybody, dude. Like that's insane. Like I remember, I'll tell a story real quick. I was my firstborn was coming out, and they asked my wife at the time if she wanted to see the birth, and I'm standing up by my wife's at the time her head. I'm holding her hand, and I'm like, just oh yeah, like just breathe, I'm trying to stay calm, and they ask her, oh, let's bring in the let's bring in the mirror. And here I thought like they're just gonna bring in like a little mirror for her to hold. Dude, they rolled in a 6-foot fucking mirror, dude, and put it at the bottom of the bed. I
Did she
was
say
like,
she said yes? She wanted to see?
yes, yes. She watched the whole thing. And I like looked back and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like I got a whole view of that thing, and
Tim,
it's not
if
fun, Tom.
you've talked about how you've got stomach issues. You know what I mean? And you
Oh
have trouble and you had, issues. If they said, Timmy, do you want us to bring in a mirror
yeah. Yeah.
so you can
I'm
check
out.
this out? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
What kind
No,
of
no.
psychopath that wants to watch that? I'm
Oh,
not
dude,
like
not
I know some guys that were there and they're watching like it was incredible, blah blah blah. And I was like, I want nothing to do with that. I was on the other side.
yeah,
We had the curtain up.
there used to be dads in there with camcorders, like zooming in on that shit. Like, look at this, it's amazing. Like, I
My
don't think they
buddy
allow that. They don't
has
allow that anymore. But
a cam. My buddy has a story where, and shout out to this guy. He'll know who he is when I'm telling you this story. His mother was a having a baby, and the anesthesia or whatever it is they give him didn't work. Right, the pain meds didn't work, wasn't working, and his fucking dad filmed the whole thing, and this lady is in the worst pain of her life. And he's
yeah.
filming I'm like, what? He didn't put down the camera? You know what I mean? It's not someone that's drugged and like, yeah, I feel pressure, but no, you had a screaming lady. I don't want like, I don't know if it was a C-section. There's no way you can have a C-section without being
So, like, I mean,
heavily
we're
medicated.
kind of we're getting. It's my fault. We diverted from the topic, but like,
Yeah.
it's just nuts, dude. At the end of like the
Huh.
birth,
Oh, I thought you were talking about ball shots. Go ahead.
no, at the end of the birth, that they get like a trash bag and whatever's left over from the birth, they just throw in the trash bag, and you're like, what just happened here? Like this whole thing is it's a whole nightmare
It's a
that I would,
massacre.
yeah,
It's a bloodbath.
you don't want to, you don't experience that, Tom.
It's a
I take a
murder
nut,
scene.
I want to take a nut shot all day, every day. So,
Well,
I
we
mean,
have been. I've been. You know how many nut shots? I'm just saying the cumulative amount of nut shots that I've
yeah,
taken in my life.
it's not equal. No, not even
They
close.
didn't have. They didn't. My wife has had two big nut shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Two
Keep,
gigantic nut shots.
keep telling that story. You're gonna be sitting at home with the kids for the rest
Hey,
of your
honey.
life.
Speaking of, Tim, we talked about a lot last week that I was going out. This was my week. I'm finally doing it. My wife's had a couple months of going out every week, every week, every week. I know you're not happy to hear this, but this past weekend, I got asked by a couple. So, what did you do for your big weekend out? Did you go? Where'd you go? I didn't go out,
Yeah,
and
Tom.
not only did I not go out, my wife went out. She went to her girlfriend's, and she was out pretty late on Saturday. Yucking it up.
Tom, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And you can talk about it all you want, Tom, but as of right now, you have no spine. You are spineless. I
Ah,
mean, what is going on over there in that household?
it's rough,
Nicole, Nicole, I love you. I love you. I know you listen to the show, but I mean, we gotta play ball here. I mean, what's going on? We need, huh?
Talk about a nut shot. You know what I mean? So, uh, it's tough because I'm torn. A lot of this becomes me just wanting to be a good dad, you know? And maybe I play that in my head too much. I'm like, I got to spend time with, it's about the kids, about the kids, about the kids. And then I guess outweighing, is it worth it going out of this and that? Because when I go out, sometimes things get crazy and it takes a little while to recover from that. And, I don't know. But I do think this is the weekend, Tim. I feel like this is the weekend. I'm going out. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to go out on the town. I'm going to have a great time. You'll see me at Applebee's with those half price appetizers this weekend.
It's gonna be nuts. It's
It's
gonna
going to
be a
get
nutty weekend.
nuts. It's
Yeah.
going to get crazy. So, Timmy, it's a crazy weekend and a big week. Let's get into some Philly sports right now. Big news, the biggest news of the last couple of days, and I want you to kind of break this down for us. The team, and I think they've been looking pretty good, and I'm happy with where our head coach has us going. I feel like the team already, I'm seeing improvement with how they're playing. But we get the trade heard around the world. James Harden to the Clippers. We received some first round draft picks. We receive Robert Covington back, some other players. Timmy, why don't you break this down for us and maybe give us some insight into what this means for the 76ers?
Well, here, Tom, just to start off, I am now interested in the Sixers season. Um, Originally with this Harden mess, it was like a malaise almost over the Sixers, right? And then the way they bailed out of the playoffs last year, and I'll call it the Harden hangover. Okay,
Right.
are you looking at? Are you okay over there? Can you hear me?
I am looking at it. I'm trying to pull up a clip that we might play in just a moment, but go ahead.
And it's just it's such a shame because the guy's such a talented player, but whatever. It doesn't work out. This is now his fourth team in less than 3 years. He's played now for four different franchises, and he just gets what he wants. And to break it down, what the Sixers got back is essentially a bunch of trash, expiring contracts. But the main thing that you need to look at are the draft picks that have come back in this trade. And the draft picks, I believe, are two first round draft picks, the option to swap first rounders with another team as well. I think it's the OKC pick as well. But that draft capital is going to be huge for the Sixers because they're going to be able to transition that into either a trade of another player who, I mean, look, it's going to take some time for the season to develop. There's going to be a player that's probably going to want out of their current situation, and hopefully that player fits the Sixers. So it's got to kind of work, for both teams. But now they have the draft capital to be able to make that trade. Whereas in the summer, you saw teams like the Celtics trade for Drew Holiday, and you saw that the Sixers were in on those trades, but they didn't have the capital to bring that trade to fruition. So now they have those components to be able to go out and make those trades, which is huge. And they didn't have that beforehand. So they get that with this trade with Harden to the Clippers. They also send PJ Tucker across to the Clippers,
Right.
which his contract is huge. He was an older guy with a big number, right? So they get rid of that. And then they bring back expiring contracts too, which is huge because those contracts, expiring contracts mean they come off the books after this year. So you're taking on dead money, right? So Nick Batum, I think, he's another guy that came over. He's a nice piece. He's a good piece off the bench, right? And that's the big thing. I say they get back trash, but it's not really trash because they get depth with all these players that come back, but they also get expiring contracts. So that's going to clear a lot of cap space for you to go out this summer and get another big time piece to add to Maxi and to add to Joel Embiid, which is major. That's what you want, right? You want to keep on adding stars. Yeah, like what Daryl Morey says, he wants to go star hunting, right? And you brought in Harden, it didn't work out, whatever. But
Right.
like what you have right now is a situation where Tobias Harris is going to come off the books after this year. His contract goes away, right? Everyone complained about Tobias Harris and how much we overpaid for him, whatever. He's going after this year. All these expiring contracts, they're all going after this year. And you can rebuild the roster essentially from scratch with your two best players. And you have that draft capital to add to the roster. So you're in such a better position really to add where everyone thought that, hey, yeah, we should trade Joel Embiid and build around Maxi. No, like you have an opportunity. Like Joel Embiid's the reigning MVP. Why would you not build around that guy? So obviously he has injury history and all that stuff, but like he has probably another 2-3 years of premier playing time, right? And then Maxi,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to sign to a long-term deal because he's towards the end of his rookie contract, and you're going to be able to offer him the max contract. So he's probably going to stay here, and then you can build around those two and add pieces to it, and it's going to be huge. So the trade was big. Getting that draft capital was huge. It's just a solid genius move by Daryl Morey, in my opinion, to be able to make this whole thing work together.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. I'm liking to, I am, like we said, I'm liking this stuff with Nick Nurse. And it's a big week for the Eagles fans. Let's get right into it.
It's Dallas week, baby. And if you are an Eagles fan, you know what this week means. Twice a year, we play the Cowboys. It's our most hated rival. And look, there's been some battles in the past. I mean, there's been games that have been just bloodbaths, and it's the one, even when we're a bad franchise, like when we've been at our worst, this is the game that's always circled on the calendar. Whether we play in Dallas or we play here in Philadelphia. I had a neighbor across the street, Mr. Kleinschmidt, that every day, it didn't matter. I would walk out during football season and he would go, Timmy, beat Dallas. And that was it. It was like, I knew it. I was like, dude, like, if we don't beat Dallas, I'll be a sap for the rest of the year. Like, we got to beat Dallas. And that was it. That was the number one thing on the calendar until we started competing for obviously Super Bowls, playoffs, stuff like that. So, and all the players know it, which is great. Like, you listen to any of the local shows on WIP or on the Fanatic, you have the players that talk about this rivalry, and it means so much to them. And there's just bitter hatred and just rivalry. And look, it used to be really vicious back in the day when the rules were a little different, but it still holds true now. You always want to beat Dallas, and it's a huge game right now. The Eagles are 7-1. They're the best team in the NFL, in my opinion. They're the best team, obviously, in the NFC. They have a game lead over Dallas, and the big thing is if they lose this game, then Dallas has the same record as us, and they have the tiebreaker. over us. So you're looking for home field advantage. You need to win this game to keep the momentum moving forward. So it's a huge game for the Eagles. It's just a monumental game, and they got to come out with the dub.
Yep. And Timmy, I remember moving here and immediately it was like off the plane, you were taught you hate Dallas. Dallas sucks. They're the worst thing ever. And I've been to a ton of like Eagles Dallas games, a lot of memorable ones. One of my favorites of all time was the when we stopped Emmett Smith twice, and that famous Merrill
Fourth
Reese
and one.
call, the hands off to Smith and they stop him again. Yeah,
Yeah.
is one of my favorites of all time. I will say this, over the years, my hatred, and it's tough because we've been pretty dominant like over the last the last decade or so. I feel like we've dominated a lot of these teams, and the last couple decades for Dallas, it seems like we've dominated the scene. My hatred for the Giants is right up there. Like it's like that. Like
Well,
sometimes
here's
I feel like
here.
I hate the Giants more, maybe because they were more successful recently.
Here's well, yeah. So I'll give you this that the Giants I respect more because they've won more recently. The Cowboys have not done a thing. They've won one playoff game, I believe, since 1995 when their last Super Bowl was. They won 3 Super Bowls in a row. And anytime you talk to a Cowboys fan, they love to rub it in your face. 6 Super Bowls. Dude, they have not won since the early 90s. Like they're crazy stats. And then you have the Akers draft day in Philadelphia or in Dallas when that
That
happened, and
was awesome.
that added to the rivalry. And like, dude, like the Steelers fans are the same way. Like the Steelers fans, they throw up the 6 Super Bowls or 7. What I don't even know how many they have, but like they haven't won recently. It's just like, look, yeah, you guys have been a great franchise. There's no doubt about it. But like, what have you done for me lately? Like you've been average at best. You haven't won a playoff game in years. Like, shut the fuck up, move forward. Like, you can claim Tony Romo and all these other shitheads that have been on your team for years and years and years, but they've been mediocre at best. That's it. Your franchise has done nothing. You've been a rudderless ship for years with Jerry Jones as your GM. You fired Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, got lucky with a Super Bowl with Barry Switzer, and then your franchise took a shit in the toilet, and that was it. And that's how it's been in Dallas for years. They're America's team. You have all these cockroach fans all over the fucking Delaware Valley that are probably Lakers fans. They're probably Yankees fans. They're just
Duke fans.
front running pieces of shit, and they come out only when the Cowboys are good, or when the Lakers are good, or when the Yankees are good, and that's it. So go fuck yourselves. Go back home. Sit at home. You want to come to our stadium and get your fucking ass chewed out? Fine. Come on down to the link on Sunday at 4:25. Watch your team get your ass beat. That's all I have to say.
How do we beat them, Timmy? I feel like the way to beat them is to run the ball. Michael Parsons, you can't have your quarterback sitting back there trying to make throws the whole game. You got to run it down, run it right by them and through them. I feel like that's the key to be strong up front on both sides of the ball. Obviously, we've talked about that in the past, but like I really feel like we have to be dedicated to run the ball against this team, pound it down their throat, use the play action, and then defensively, we got to be tough up front and get after Prescott, and we win this game. And I feel like we win it handily if we do that.
Yeah, you sure as hell have to put pressure on the quarterback and make Dak beat you. And Prescott has a tendency to turn the ball over. He's prone to interceptions, so you got to get him throwing the ball into coverage, and you have to create turnovers, and you got to create havoc in the backfield. So you got to get pressure on Dak. That's number one. Offensively, I think they're going to be fine. We haven't been running the ball as well as we should over the course of the last 4 games. You need to establish the line of scrimmage. I think that has a lot to do with Cam Jurgens being out. I believe he just came off an injured reserve and he's back this week, which is a big deal if he's able to play. But yeah, I mean, establishing the line of scrimmage and moving the ball is going to be key for this win, to get this win. But the secondary has to shore themselves up because they were absolute trash last week. And I have like a lot of it has to do with scheme because when you watch that Redskins game, okay, the biggest issue was that they were getting the ball out of Sam Howell's hands quick. So it was 3-step drop, quick passes, slants, quick outs, right? Just to get the ball out of the quarterback's hands, right? And conversely, on the other side of the line of scrimmage, we're sitting there playing soft coverage. We're playing 7 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards off the ball, letting these guys catch it and tackle them because we don't give up the big play, which honestly makes just a terrible recipe for giving up points and giving up yards. And that's what happened with the Redskins game or with the Commanders game. And we got ourselves in a dogfight. We ended up getting the turnover at the end of the game, but like, you have to adjust to that. You have to play a little bit more press coverage. You have to get up on the receivers and you got to check them at the line of scrimmage to avoid those situations from happening. But look, Sean Desai has been good all year. Look, we're 7-1. I'm not going to complain about the Eagles right now because they're playing well. They're the best team in football. There's nothing really to complain about. Like, you just got to keep on enjoying the ride and see how it goes. They just got to keep on playing good football. I think the secondary is going to get better with the addition of Kevin Byard, who they got from the Tennessee Titans. They didn't do anything else at the trade deadline. I thought they were going to add a quarter, but look, this is what we got. Let's move forward with it. And I'm looking forward to the next 5 games, dude. Like, you look at the NFC, the landscape of the NFC. There's no other team that's as good as us. Like, Brock Purdy is starting to come back to earth. I mean, do the Lions scare you really at all?
The Lions are tough. I think like they're tough defensively and they have weapons on offense. I feel like they're like the second rate Eagles. You know what I mean? Like we're the tops and they're kind of like are like
So
they
we're
want to
look
be us.
Tom, if you look at the teams that are in playoff contention right now, you have obviously the Niners, you got the Cowboys, then you have the Seahawks, the Falcons, and who's the other team? And the Lions. Those are your 4 division leaders right now. Eagles, Falcons, Lions, and Seahawks. And then you have the Cowboys and the
The
Niners
Niners.
in wild card positions. It's like, I'm not it's ridiculous. Look, the NFL isn't great right now, in my opinion. And I don't think any of the AFC teams are that good. Like, Cincinnati is starting to peak a little bit. They're starting to come back to that top tier team that we thought they were with Joe Burrow. He's starting to get healthier. But Mahomes just lost a game to the Broncos. It's like there's not a clear cut like excellent team besides the Eagles, in my opinion. So, I mean, I am a little bit of a homer, obviously, but
Yeah, no.
it's just the way I
We
see it.
got a big stretch of games, and I feel like if we come out looking good after these, it's going to be a big confidence builder for our team and for the fans. You know, we're 7-1, like you said. It feels like we win every week, but it feels ugly. But hey, we're winning every week, and we haven't even really hit like we've been winning, not playing our best, which is crazy. You know what I mean? We're 7-1 and we haven't played our best yet. And
Yeah.
it's like if we start playing our best going into this stretch and then into the playoffs, like
And just real quick, shout out to fucking AJ Brown. My God. I did not think he was going to be this good, and he is better than good. He's on pace for 2,000 yards and 130 catches, Tom. That's insane. Like, there's not, I mean, I don't know how many players have done that in the league
it's
ever.
shaping up to be the greatest receiving season in Eagles history.
Yeah. Well,
And
I know Tyreek Hill, and look, he's not going to sustain this for 17 games, but like, Tyreek Hill, he's on pace. He's already got over 1,000 yards, and he's 8 games into the season, 7 games into the season. It's nuts what these guys are doing. But shout out to AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, the fucking top tier guys, and it's been fun to watch.
yep. All right. So we had that big game this weekend that we're circling, and hopefully we can come out on top. Timmy, this past week we we dropped off our sons at my kids at their schools, getting ready for work. My wife says, "Oh my gosh, did you get the email from school?" And I said, "What email?" She says, "Apparently they sent out this email that someone was there and this girl was choking, right? And a dad who was dropping off their child noticed the girl choking, administered the Heimlich maneuver, saved this girl's life. It was a great moment. She was like, "Was that you? Did you do that?" And I said, "No, it wasn't me. I didn't see anyone choking. So they reminded us in the email, hey, this is a good time to remind everyone to what foods you're sending to school. This is a daycare. You need to be careful. There's choking hazards. Do not send these foods that are choking hazards to the school. A kid comes in and they're eating such and such and get lodged in their throat. Next thing they're choking, and who knows what can happen." I said, "Well, okay, yeah, I guess it's good to be reminded of that." And I said, what was the name of the little girl that was choking? They said on the thing. She goes, "Oh no, it wasn't a little girl. It was a teacher that was choking."
Wait, what?
Yeah. I said, "Hold on a second." I said, hold on a second. So the teacher is choking. She's choking, and then has the balls to send an email to me to say, "Hey, you need to be careful about what you're sending into the like." What?
Huh?
Yeah. Am I crazy, Tim? You're going to preach to me about what I'm sending into the school when you're the choker? I'm not the one choking. I didn't send in anything with my kid to choke. It wasn't. No one sent. No parents sent any chokeable foods in with their kids. You're the one choking, and then you're going to spin it on me.
This is strange.
Very strange.
So wait, did it go out to, was this like a school-wide email? Like,
Yeah,
what, wait,
to all the parents,
in the same grade, or it's just like the
the
whole
whole everyone.
so what did she dip it into fucking people's kids bags? Is she fucking
Yeah,
she's ripping off lunches?
this
She's
kindergarten cop stuff
yeah,
going on right
what's
now.
good? Is she diving into lunch boxes? I don't know what's going on with this lady.
Should I find the email? Should I find the exact email? Oh man. Let me see if I can find this thing.
It's like straight out of Billy Madison. Who
Yeah.
would eat 30 bag lunches? Who would steal 30 bag lunches? It's Chris
uh,
Farley in the back of the bus. And this lady, she's right next to Farley.
yeah.
No,
Uh,
dude. Are you kidding? Well, look. I mean, I think that's standard. Like you gotta avoid the choking hazards and all that stuff. But like, it
right.
just makes no sense that there's an adult. What, does she need like us to cut her meat too? Cut up her steak before she starts eating dinner? Like, does she need
Here we
supervision? Like,
go.
what?
Good morning, families. This morning, blank person's name was eating a cheese stick, and a piece became lodged in her airway, and she began actively choking. Caps, she is okay, thanks to the very quick reaction of a parent who was dropping off in the daycare and was able to perform the Heimlich on blank. She is shaken, but very grateful for our parent and his quick reaction. I wanted to use this incident as a reminder for families to please be mindful of packing appropriate items for snacks and lunches and also cutting food into appropriate pieces. We also ask you to please avoid sending items that are common choking hazards. I
This
have
is
listed some
ridiculous.
resources below for your review. We also insist on our students are seated when eating and ask that you please not send children into school eating any type of food. Again, we are extremely thankful for our parent guardian angel this morning who saw blank and quickly reacted. Our hope is this incident will be an extra reminder to all of us to be mindful.
This has got to. They should have also said this also applies to the teacher.
Yeah.
It's like this is insane. Like this is nuts. You gotta tell teachers to eat responsibly. Stop being idiots. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, what is she shoving down the cheese?
Yeah, right. You know.
Slow up, lady. It's called polio string cheese. Just you gotta tear down the sides. That's it.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
It,
that's outrageous.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
All right, let's move on.
We're moving on. So, a lot of things going on at school. My son is star of the week, and we want to make him feel special. He is star of the week, and it's his special week. So, I wanted to give some things to be cool. Timmy, I think you were telling me that you can relate to this a bit. We sent in a gift for all the kids. It's Halloween, and we got these cool, like, tops, right? Like a top that you spin, you hook it up.
Okay.
It's a skeleton, and there's skeletons and there's pumpkins. And you twist it on a thing, you hit a button, and it spins around real fast like a top, and it spins for a little while, and it lights up, and it's really cool. Unfortunately, it also has a song that goes along with it. One that maybe you will recognize if I sing it for you right now. Here it goes. Ready? You hit it. Boom. Do 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 do. Schmidt Lavelle. Timmy's that
Ah,
ring a bell?
that's none other than Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop, one of Timmy's top 5 summer blockbusters of all time. Timmy,
Yep.
is this a violation to be sending in a toy that has a noise maker on it, a song attached to it? You know, my son's been spinning that thing nonstop. I've been hearing the Beverly Hills theme song quite a bit the last couple days.
I think. All right. So here, look, I was just at a first birthday party, and my opinion on the matter is that when you're at a first birthday party and there's a ton of kids, adding noise to the situation is only worse. Like, it's terrible. Like, you can't buy, like, in your little, like, gift bags to all the parents and the kids, like, you can't have noisemakers, like something that says noise, like, written on the side of it in those gift bags, because they come right out and it turns into like the vuvuzelas from like the soccer tournament over in like Brazil from the World Cup. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a nightmare, dude. Like, it's nonstop noise. Now, I will say, as a parent, I have 2 kids that are 10 and 9. I have become impenetrable to noise. Now, there is times that like the noise will get to me, but when it's that level of noise, I can just tune it out just because I'm so used to it. Like at parties and shit like
Yeah.
that, I'm like, yeah, it's just background noise, no big deal. Um,
You're using
but
a
like,
blender and you're like, it's no big
yeah,
deal. Yeah.
it's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, can I take that up to my bed while I sleep? Because it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
But yeah, no, like, you can't add noise to a situation. Now, I mean, look, your son's the star of the week. If he wants to make all the noise, so be it. Let him go in there, like, cause a ruckus.
We're
Like, hey,
noisemakers.
hey, I'd walk in there like my shit is, yeah, let's go. Huh? Let's Beverly Hills Cop. Let's play it on repeat. Here we go.
Let's do it.
So
Well, I'm thinking about writing an email to the school that these noisemakers, just as a reminder now, to, hey, we had a noisemaker incident, and I just wanted to send a reminder there to the teachers that
yeah, yeah,
sending noisemakers home isn't the best idea. And here's some references I'd like you to go to and look up things not to send home.
yeah. Noisemakers are out. But look, there's nothing cuter than a 1-year-old birthday party. They get the smash cake and they smash it in the face and the whole thing. And you've been there.
Oh,
I was
recently.
going to be there, but I wasn't invited.
All right, so that's going to bring us to our next topic, Timmy. Now, I'm going to set the scene for you here. Say you were invited to the house, right? And you said, I'm going to come over and I'm going to bring a couple beverages, I'm going to bring some beers or whatever it is you'd like to drink. You bring it over. And you come over, you have a couple drinks. The night's coming to an end. Maybe you have 4 or 5 left of those drinks. What is the proper protocol when you're going to someone's house? And I'm going to say, for if like you were just coming over to hang out, maybe it's different. What are the rules if it's a party? If it's just like a two guys hanging out or two friends hanging out or
Yeah.
just a small gathering and you're bringing beer and you're bringing alcohol over to the house, do you leave the alcohol at the house or are you taking it home with you?
All right. So here I'm an IPA drinker. Okay. So I know that's not very common at parties. All right. So if I'm going to a party, there's times where I have brang or brung. I think brung
What?
is
I
the
have
word here.
brung. Yeah,
I
brung.
have brung my own beer to the party. I brought like IPAs. Now I would throw them into the refrigerator or into that community cooler, and I would drink out of that. And if by chance no one else was drinking those beers, like I would bring like a 12 pack or whatever, and I'd leave it in there, and I could tell that no one else is drinking them. I'd probably take a couple with me to go. I wouldn't take I wouldn't be scooping them out. Like I'd probably take like, if I brought 12 and I drank 4 and there was 8 left, I'd probably take 4 with me. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna take these for the road. Um, I've also been in situations where I've brought IPAs to the party and no one drinks them, and the person that whose party it was is, dude, no one's gonna drink these. Just take them home with you. Like, no big deal. And that just seems like to be like the case all the time because I bring IPAs to a party. If you bring like something common that everyone drinks, if you're bringing like seltzers or you're bringing Coors Lights, if you're bringing high noons or anything like that, you can't pack them up and hit the road. Like you have to leave those things in its place and just say, hey, listen, that's a cap casualty. You just got to let it go, dude. Like,
Right.
and that's it. Like, I think that the IPA drinker is a little different than the common drinker. That's all I'm going to say.
Uh, I would say too, it is part of the responsibility there falls on the host of the party to say to the person, like a lot of times I've had beers left here that I don't necessarily they'll sit there, and if I know they're gonna sit and I'm not gonna drink them, hey, take them home. I know you like make sure you take those with you or whatever, or like a bottle of something as someone brings it over. Hey, make sure you take this home. Don't leave it here because that's an expensive bottle or this is that or whatever it is, and then give them the opportunity to then take it. I feel
Yeah.
like if you're bringing over a 12 pack of Corona Lights, well, you know what? You're not rounding those up at the end of the night. You're bringing
Hey,
the White Claws, the seltzers, like you said, any type of light beer, but like a craft beer, unless you bring it over specifically, say, hey, I got these, I know you like them. Let's have a couple. No, no, those are for you. That falls on the host to be like, hey, grab those heady toppers that you. No, no, dude, I brought those over for you. Let's
yeah. No,
communication is key.
I do this too a lot because I know like there's places where I'll bring like IPAs or something like that, and it's a place that I also frequent a lot. So like I'll just leave them there, and I'll know that no one will drink them. So next time I have to go to that place for a party or like a visit, I know that I have beer that I like in the fridge. Like
Right.
they're not ripping them down, so I can just leave them there and sit in the fridge, and they're going to sit there until the next time I'm there. So that's also something you got to keep in mind. You got to go. All right,
You're planting little beers over here. Well, I do
you
have a couple beers
gotta.
over at Joey's house, and then I could stop over at Billy's because I got a couple over there. Let
It's
me.
all about the long game, Tommy. It's all about the long game, you know.
All right, Timmy. This is going to bring us to our final topic of the night, and a big topic for me. Obviously, in the news, most of you have heard that Mr. Matthew Perry, RIP, passed away this past weekend. He was Chandler Bing on a very famous, popular TV show, Friends. I've been in many group texts. This was brought up back and forth. Here we go, this and that. And I wanted to say something that I think needs to be said. I feel like lately it's a popular thing for people to be saying that the show Friends is bad, was bad, awful, not funny, all of these things. And the fact of the matter is that's bullshit. Friends is a great show, was a great show, an iconic show. The amount of guests that were on that show, uh the classic moments from that show there's multiple. There was a haircut from that show. There was sex symbols from that show. That show was one of the most popular shows in the history of television and is a great show. And I think it's blasphemous for people to say it. And I think they're making up this opinion. It's almost like when people will talk about Nickelback and it's become this popular thing to say that they suck or that it's no good. I heard someone say, oh, yeah, well, I saw an episode where they removed the laugh track from Friends and it was awful. It was so bad. First of all, they performed in front of a live audience. Okay. Second of all, watch a stand-up special where nobody's laughing and tell me how fucking funny it is, you dope. The fucking people that try out for Saturday Night Live have to try out in front of four people and there's nobody laughing. And they talk about how difficult it is because there's no laughter to feed off of and stuff like that. Anything that there's no laughter that you have to watch that it comes with, it's not as funny as when it has the laughter in there. Friends is a great show. That's all I'm saying. People should stop trying to shit on it because they think it's cool. That's all. Go ahead, Tim.
Whoa, very passionate about the Friends, huh?
Well, I have a stance and I want to be passionate about it. I think there's a lot of dopes out there that maybe weren't old, like not our age, that didn't realize the pop culture significance of Friends. It was a
Yeah.
very popular show, and it wasn't just about comedy. It was drama, love. I mean, in my mind, where I'm thinking about it right now, the number one romantic comedy TV show of all time is Friends. It's not even close. But whatever. It's a shitty show, you know. Oh, watch it and now. Yeah, okay. Go watch something from 19 whatever and say, "Oh yeah, it's not as funny now." I can watch Aladdin, and if I didn't know anything about that back in the day with Robin Williams, it's not as funny because it's all, pop culture references of the time that don't hit as much. There's different comedies that don't, like, comedy is probably the toughest thing to stand the test of time. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, Tom. I will acknowledge Friends as one of the premier sitcoms of all time. It is. I mean, it's I mean, I can't sit here and argue. The Friends train was a cash cow, still is. The reruns are constantly on all the time. Look, at the time I was a Seinfeld guy, so I wasn't as dialed into Friends as I was Seinfeld, but um we reference Seinfeld a ton on this show. I know Friends has a home with the female audience more so than the male audience. I
True.
know the males do relate to the male characters on that show with David Schwimmer and Matt LeBlanc and Matthew Perry and Paul Rudd was on that show and Tom Selleck and a lot of really like
Brad Pitt was on the show. Danny
Yeah,
DeVito was on the show. Alicia Silverstone was on the show.
yeah,
You know, there's been so many major celebrities on that show.
yeah. Um, so yeah, I get it. I mean, it's a big loss. I just don't understand like the whole like Matthew Perry is not like a national treasure. Okay. Like I know to Friends
Yeah.
people, but like
We've talked about this kind of before too. When
this,
a
yeah,
celebrity passes
like
away, it's like
he's
they
now,
revere this person as, oh, he was
yes,
the greatest actor of all time.
yeah. Apparently he's the greatest comedian ever to come out of Canada. It's just like,
He's Canadian?
yes,
Oh, I didn't
he's
even know that.
Canadian. And like, look, I understand he's had a lot of trouble in his past and he's had demons and this and that. Like, I just like there's people posting about like Matthew Perry like they lost a family member. It's like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
look, I get it. Like, there's certain people and certain things in your life that have meaning to you and get you through times, right? And like there's like I mean the whole Friends thing I get. Like I get it. I get it. Like people love that show. They fucking like they can quote every show. It's very much a just a cult almost, right? Cult
Right.
phenomenon. But like I mean, look, if Jerry Seinfeld died tomorrow, I'd be like, oh man, it's brutal, man. But I'm not posting on my Facebook like,
No. I don't know
oh
if
yeah,
there is a celebrity that like I
no, the
would
move
post
shit like
about.
that, like that
No, I
has an
don't think
impact
so.
on me,
Yeah.
like that, like because like none of these people really had an impact on my life. Like,
Right.
I mean, look, music has a different way of moving people, right? Like, I
Right.
guess like certain things have a different way of moving people,
Well, Chandler Bing's an iconic character, you know, it's someone that like when I saw that he passed, I was like, holy shit, like damn. I was like, that's crazy. And like it's kind of a sign, oh man, we're getting older and the shows that we grew up with now, even the guy, you know. But like, yeah, it's not like a family friend died. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's like, oh
yeah.
shit, that's crazy. Did you hear about that? And that's basically where I'm at with it, like kind of talking about it, you know?
Some people are like, wait, wait, the guy from Fools Rush In,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah. Wait a second. The guy from
Wait,
the whole
give me
nine
the
yards?
give me the tulips, neighbor.
Yeah.
It's like,
Did you ever see She's Out of Control with
no,
Tony Danza?
no.
He's got a daughter that's becoming a woman. Either way, Matthew Perry was in it. He was like the jerk boyfriend or whatever, and but he like played it like he was a real like Eddie Haskell type character.
Well, I mean, like, look, my thoughts and condolences are out to the Friends Nation out there. I know that you guys are hurting. Uh, yeah, we at the Schmidt and Lavelle show feel for you, and we hope that you get through this tough time.
Yeah. And Timmy, dare I say, could we feel any worse for the Friends Nation out there? No? Yeah.
There's
No.
so many memes going around, dude. Like I can't even touch them.
Yeah. But just one like I was saying, I'm a big fan of Friends, and for people to shit on it, go shut the front door. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're just I think they're just jumping on like you know what I'm talking about with this bandwagon of people like saying that Friends was a terrible show.
I haven't seen it. I haven't really experienced it at
There's a
all.
bit of a bandwagon. I've started to see it more and more, and I'm sick of it, as you can tell. All right,
Put your foot
Timmy,
down.
I'm putting my foot down. That is going to bring us to the end of yet another amazing episode of Schmidt Lavelle. We certainly hope you've enjoyed it.
Wow, we went long tonight, huh?
Eh, we went as far as we were supposed to go. You know,
That's
and
okay. We'll take it to the end, Tom. As
yeah.
always.
And Timmy, I want you to know something. I
What's
want you
that,
to
Tom?
know that I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. You know, I'll be there for you, like I've been there before. I'll be there for you you know, whatever the rest of those lyrics are. Because you're there for me too. All right, Tim?
Okay. All
All
right.
right, bud?
Oh, that's the theme song. I got it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Thank you.
got it. I got it now.
And we want to let all the fans out there know that we'll be there for you and new episodes every Thursday. Please give us a follow, like, share, subscribe. Timmy, anything you'd like to say to all the Schmidt Lavelles before we sign off?
What would the world be like without Matthew Perry?
See you next week.